Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio, Sunday, January 25th, 2015. It's 11:30, special time. The Pro Bowl just ended. And I'm trying to figure out trying to find the final score of it, but although it doesn't count, NFL.com, but Lions wide receiver Golden Tate and quarterback Matthew Stafford made it to the Pro Bowl, and Team Irvin beat Team Carter 32-28. Matthew Stafford threw two touchdowns actually, and a 60-yard reception to Golden Tate, his teammate. Let me check the Lions Twitter handle here. Oh, a notification just popped up on my phone. Matthew Stafford finished with 316 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Stafford became the offensive MVP. J.J. Watt was the defensive MVP. Stafford's 316 passing yards tonight are second most in Pro Bowl history, behind Peyton Manning with 342 in 2004. Oh, man. That is amazing. Stafford apparently is getting better. So, and most Lions fans didn't blame the playoff loss completely on Matthew Stafford. He did just fine, in my opinion, the entire season. The Lions just need to strengthen their offensive line. By the way, it doesn't matter which team wins the Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to move on to the Red Wings right now. I'm going to go ahead and do that. They've won 5 in a row. Their last one, however, they blew a 4-1 lead and still won in a shootout. But I blame the entire lead blowing on Jonathan Ericsson. Ericsson took a dumb penalty. The Wild scored on a power play. And then Ericsson ditched Thomas Vanek, who had the puck wide open and scored, make it 4-3. And then with 6:30, with a little over 6.5 to go in the third period, Ericsson gave it right to Zach Parise, who scored his second of the game. Peter Mrazek had no chance of making the save. Goaltender Peter Mrazek had no chance of stopping the second shot on the rebound. And it was tied at 4 just like that. Ericsson has just been a disaster. As you can see on my my own website blog titled "Jonathan Ericsson Must Be Shipped Away from the Wings, period." And indeed, he must be shipped away from the team. Jonathan Ericsson has been the only man on this roster that has played very poorly, and he is costing his team goals against all season. He is a big fat slob. He turns the puck over too many times, and he also stands there and doesn't do a thing. He even turns away from opposing attackers with the puck. I've seen too many of these from Eric, too many of all these in those categories from Ericsson, and I'm about fed up with that slob virus. And no, goaltending is not the issue. It's the sloppy defense, courtesy in large part of Johnny Rotten Appleseed Ericsson. He recently scored 2 goals. Still doesn't cut it. Oh, he's only 30. Only 30?
I want you here. What's your problem there, pal? Can't a guy get a bit of sleep? Don't bug me.
Hello? 30 years old is not that young. Idiots. The rest of the Red Wings players have done a lot better than him, have done a lot better this season than in the past 5 years, whereas Ericsson alone is getting worse. The Wings need to either waive Jonathan Ericsson, and call up another defenseman from the AHL's Grand Rapids Griffins, and save all the money that they never had to pay him in the first place. Ken Holland made a big mistake signing Ericsson to a 6-year, $26.5 million contract. It is a total waste, and part of it's Ken Holland's fault, and the other part is Jonathan Ericsson's fault. Ericsson is just not playing up to par, not nearly. Another option for the Wings is that they can trade Jonathan Ericsson to the Arizona Coyotes, who suck again this year. For Keith Yandel, a defenseman who is much smoother and more consistent with the puck. He also can shoot, and defensively he also can rack up points, score more goals. I mean, and why wait until the trade deadline? Trade Ericsson for anybody. Or if Ericsson keeps getting worse, just waive him, release him, terminate his contract. Ken Holland, you have the power to do it. You have the power to do anything you want. Take the Pistons, for example. Pistons general manager Jeff Bauer waived Josh Smith and didn't even have to pay another penny of his remaining $26 million before he signed with the Houston Rockets, and the Pistons played much better. As far as the NHL All-Star Game goes, that one doesn't count either, especially because goaltenders suck. But it was 17-12, the final score. Team Taves beating Team Foligno in the 2015 HANA NHL All-Star Game. Another reason why the NHL All-Star Game was not watchable is because most Red Wing fans, especially by most Red Wing fans, is because none of the Red Wings were in the All-Star Game. There could have been at least two, Gustav Nyquist and Tomas Tatar. They keep racking up points. Henrik Zetterberg, Pavel Datsyuk, well, I don't know. Wouldn't quite get there. I don't think they quite earned a spot. They've been in the All-Star Game before, but they're aging. They still got it in them, but everybody ages. The Red Wings head back to work Tuesday night in Florida against the Panthers at 7:30. Then they go to Tampa Bay and play the Lightning at 7:30 on Thursday on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. The Panthers game is on Fox Sports Detroit, and then the Red Wings return home to take on the New York Islanders at 2 o'clock on FSD. Pistons had won 12 out of 15 until they got crushed in Milwaukee. Let's see here. (101-86) in Milwaukee. That Brandon Jennings suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon and will be out 6 to 9 months. In other words, out for the rest of the season, and that is a devastating blow to their offense. They scored 110 points earlier tonight, but still lost 114-110 in Toronto to the Raptors tonight. But that proves why the Pistons can score as much as about 110 without Brandon Jennings. The real problem with the Pistons is their defense. They have given up over 100 points per game almost every game. The first 6 games they gave up under 100 points, but still, they've given up over 100 points in most of their games thus far this season, and that's a no-no. Over 100 points against great team, top NBA teams. Almost every game against a top NBA team. Not every game against a top NBA team. They shut down the Cavaliers one time. They shut down the Mavericks, both on the road. And they need to stop worrying so much about Brandon Jennings and just play tougher defense. If they're gonna continue to beat good team, a top NBA team. Dallas was apparently in the middle of the pack, and so was Cleveland. But against a top team in the Toronto Raptors, for example, they gave up 114 points tonight and lost. They gave up 111 points in Toronto January 12th, earlier this month. They won with Brandon Jennings on the team. But if you do the math, if you look at the score of each game, 114 to 111 Pistons and then 114 to 10 Raptors. They're both high-scoring games and they're both close. Very, very close. You can tell the Pistons have a shot at beating the Raptors with or without Brandon Jennings. I mean, he's a scoring beast out there, but there are other players on this Pistons team that can rack up points and assists and rebounds, especially Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Jody Meeks as well. Anthony Tolliver can chip in and produce some as well. Spencer Dinwiddie got some playing time tonight. I saw him hit a layup. He took it to the rack, Jack. Pistons welcome in the Cleveland Cavaliers Tuesday at 7:30 Then they go to Philadelphia and play the 76ers at 7 on Wednesday. And then on Saturday they return home and welcome their former teammate Josh Smith and the Houston Rockets at 7:30 on Saturday. The Rockets are 30-14. And Josh Smith is much happier with the Houston Rockets than he is with the Detroit Pistons. And the Pistons are much better without Josh Smith, of course. That should wrap up the month of January. Now let's go to college basketball. Spartans and Wolverines are coming off a loss. Michigan State is 13-7 though, and Michigan is 12-8. The Maize and Blue played in overtime against a number 6 ranked team in the Wisconsin Badgers at Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor. They fell flat in overtime and lost. The score was, check it here on the Score mobile app. 69-64 in overtime. Nebraska held off Michigan State 79-77. Cornhuskers in Nebraska. CMU beat Eastern 65-51. And Western came up short against Akron 71-69. The Wolverines and Spartans still have winning records, and I think they can still make the NCAA tournament, except in lower seeds, like the double-digit seeds. They just won't win either of the Big Ten championships, regular season or tournament, and they won't go too far in the NCAA tournament either. If they're lucky enough, they'll make it to the round of 32. Now let me get to the Tigers here. They lost Max Scherzer to the Washington Nationals on a 7-year, $210 million contract a week ago, right after my previous Blog Talk Radio podcast episode. They at first agreed on Scherzer and the Nats at first agreed on a 7-year, $180 million contract. And then it was raised to $210 million the day after. The Nationals are paying Doug Fister and Max Scherzer a crap ton of money. They're overpaying their players. The Tigers are trying to save their money, but they're stuck with Verlander, Price, Sanchez, Green, and Simon, who's no good. Simon should be either sent down to the minors or sent down to the minors or sent down to the bullpen. The Tigers need a real fifth starter. I don't care if it's James Shields or another player. As long as he's better than Alfredo Simon, I'm fine with that. I read a source that Justin Verlander hit the gym and gained 20 pounds of muscle, and told the media, especially to the Oakland press, that he feels a lot better than he has the past 3 to 4 years. "20 pounds is good enough." 20 pounds is good enough there, JB. You might need it for improvement on your velocity and pitch command and throwing arm and throwing power and stuff. You really need to improve vastly if you want to remain a starting pitcher. If you want to remain an ace. He was at the Winter Caravan Tour earlier the past week, a few days ago. Brian Osmus said he was going to play catcher Alex Avila at first base if Miguel Cabrera doesn't make it to opening day, is out for at least the first few days of the 2015 MLB regular season, which is strange. That would be a crazy move by manager Brad Osmus. Why not just put Victor Martinez back at first base? Victor Martinez has had more experience at first base than Alex Avila. Alex Avila has 0 experience at first base. I don't know what Brad Osmus was thinking there, but I really hope Osmus reconsiders putting Victor Martinez at first base. I mean, Victor Martinez is a designated hitter. I mean, you can use there's more than one designated hitter on this roster, I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up real quick here. They've also agreed to terms with relief pitcher Al Albuquerque on a 1-year, $1.725 million contract to avoid arbitration. Look at the roster real quick. Designated hitters. There's only one, actually. You got Martinez, Ghost, Davis, Cespedes. Why not put JD Martinez at designated hitter? You could put Cespedes, Davis, and Ghost in the outfield. You need more defense. Plus, you need a second net designated hitter, JD Martinez. Could be the backup designated hitter. Also, James McCann, of course, should be the backup catcher. Brian Holiday is nowhere near as good as James McCann or Alex Avila. Holiday is not even a backup catcher. So that's going to do it. That's going to wrap up Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio, Sunday, January 25th, 2015, 11:30 p.m. I'll be back at 11 p.m. next week, and maybe a little later this week on Spreaker. TTFN, ta-ta for now.